Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Yashodanandana Brajadanarandana Yashodanandana Brajadanarandana Jamuna Tira Vanam Chari Jamuna Tira Vanam Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Yashodanandana Brajadanarandana Yashodanandana Brajadanarandana Jamuna Tira Vanam Chari Jamuna Tira Vanam Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Radhe. Jaya Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Gaur Pimanande. Jaya Mishupad Paramahamsa Pri Vrajakachaja Stotra Satya Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Chiraboy Charanarvind Bhakti Raghava Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki
Joy.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Nandibiti Founder Acharya Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Harinama Sankirtana Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Daily Thai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga. All glories to Sri Prabhupada Ki. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Taksurandiritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Sri Rupam Sadrajatam Sahaganam Raghunathan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Paritana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kancana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya Pipa Sindhubhyaiva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Sri Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayesha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamasloke Bhaktir Bhaviti Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed or practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nistreya Sayalokasya Dhanyam Swasyayanam Mahat. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Surabhyaya Namaha Om Surabhyaya Namaha Om Surabhyaya Namaha Mukam karoti vasanam pangum langayate girim yatkripat maham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam yatkripat Tamo Dhiyo Tamo Dhiyo Nripa Jivanti Tatraisha Ihi Satvataha Kila Dhatte Bhagam Satyam Ritam Dayam Yasho Bhavaya Rupani Dadad Yuge Sound familiar? Bhagavad Gita. Yada Yadalmena Tamodhiyo Nripa Jivanti Tatraisha Hi Satvata Kila Dhatte Bhagam Satyam Ritam Dayam Yasho Bhavaya Rupani Dadhad Yuge Yadha Yadharmena Tamodhiyo Nripa Jivanti Tatraisha Hi Satvata Kila Dhatte Bhagam Satyam Ritam Dayam Yasho Bhavaya Rupani Dadhad Yuge Yada Yadharmena Tamodhiyo Nripa Jivanti Tatraisha Hi Satvata Kila Dhatte Bhagam Satyam Ritam Dayam Yasho Bhavaya Rupane Dadhad Yuge Yuge Yadharmena Tamodhiyo Nripa Dhatte Bhagam Satyam Ritam Dayam Yasho Bhavaya Rupani Dadad Yuge Yuge Yada Yadharmena Tamodhiyo Nripa Jivanti Tatraisa Hi Satvata Kila Dhatte Bhagam Satyam Ritam Dayam Yasho Bhavaya Rupani Dadhad Yuge Yuge Yada Yadharmena Tamodhiyo Nripa Jivanti Tatraisa Hi Satvata Kila Dhatte Bhagam Satyam Ritam Dayam Yasho Bhavaya Rupani Dadad Yuge Yuge Yadha Yadharmena Tamodhiyo Nripa Jivanti Tatraisa Hi Satvata Kila Dhatte Bhagam Satyam Ritam Dayam Yasho Bhavaya Rupani Dadhad Yuge Yuge
Yada Yadharmena Tamodhiyo Nripa
Yada Yadharmena Tamodhiyo Nripa
Jivanti Tatraisa Hi Satvata Kila
Jivanti Tatraisa Hi Satvata Kila
Dade Bhagam Satyam Ritam Dayam Yaso
Dhatte Bhagam Satyam Ritam Dayam Yasho
Bhavarupani Dadad Yuge Yuge
Bhavaya Rupani Dadhad Yuge Yuge Yada whenever he assuredly adharmena against the principles of God's will tamahadhiyaha persons in the lowest material modes nripaha kings and administrators jivanti live like animals tatra thereupon esaha he only I'm sorry he only satvata transcendental kila certainly dhatte is manifested bhagam supreme power, satyam,
Satyam,
truth,
truth,
ritam,
Ritam,
positiveness,
positiveness,
dayam,
Dayam,
mercy,
mercy,
yasha,
Yasa,
wonderful activities,
wonderful activities,
bhavaya,
Bhavaya,
for the maintenance,
for the maintenance,
rupani,
Rupani,
in various forms,
in various forms,
dadhat,
that
manifested,
manifested,
yuge,
Yuge,
different periods,
different periods,
yuge,
Yuge,
and ages.
and ages.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Whenever there are kings and administrators living like animals in the lowest modes of nature, the Lord in His transcendental form manifests His supreme power, the truth positive, shows special mercy to the faithful, performs wonderful activities, and manifests various transcendental forms as is necessary in different periods and ages. I kind of repeat after me. Whenever there are kings and administrators
Whenever there are kings and administrators,
living like animals
living like animals,
in the lowest modes of existence,
in the lowest modes of existence,
the Lord in His transcendental form
the Lord in His transcendental form
manifests His supreme power,
manifests His supreme power,
the truth positive,
the truth positive,
shows special mercy
shows special mercy
to the faithful,
to the faithful,
performs wonderful activities,
performs wonderful activities,
and manifests various transcendental forms
and manifests various transcendental forms
as is necessary
as is necessary
in different periods
in different periods
and ages.
and ages.
Purport. As mentioned above, the cosmic creation is the property of the Supreme Lord, not what Expo 1967 was promoting, man and his world. This is the basic philosophy of Upanishad. Everything is a property of the Supreme Being. No one should encroach upon the property of the Supreme Lord. One should accept only what is kindly awarded by Him. Therefore, the earth or any other planet or universe is the absolute property of the Lord. Not just the property, but the absolute property. The living beings are certainly His parts and parcels or sons, and thus every one of them has a right to live at the mercy of the Lord to execute His prescribed work. No one, therefore, can encroach upon the right of another individual man or animal without being so sanctioned by the Lord. The king or the administrator is the representative of the Lord to look after the management of the Lord's will. He must therefore be a recognized person like Maharaj Yudhishthir or Parikshit. Such kings have full responsibility and knowledge from authorities rather, about the administration of the world. But at times, due to the influence of the ignorance mode of material nature, tamaguna, the lowest of the material modes, kings and administrators come into power without knowledge and responsibility. And such foolish administrators live like animals for the sake of their own personal interest. The result is that the whole atmosphere becomes surcharged with anarchy and vicious elements. Nepotism, is that how we say? Nepotism? Nepotisms, yeah. Nepotism, bribery, cheating, aggression. Sounds familiar? And therefore famine, epidemic, war, and similar other disturbing features become prominent in human society. And the devotees of the Lord, or the faithful, are persecuted by all means. All these symptoms indicate the time of an incarnation of the Lord to reestablish the principles of religion and to vanquish the maladministrators. Prabhupada was very unique in maladministrators.
A bit of French and a little bit of English.
Yeah.
Bad. No.
Right. Yeah. Malad, sick. Malad. And yeah, it's interesting, right? Mal in French means bad, and malad means sick. Yeah. So if you're bad, you're sick. Yeah. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord then appears in his transcendental form without any tinge of material qualities. He descends just to keep the state of his creation in a normal condition. The normal condition is that the Lord has provided each and every planet with all the needs of the native living beings. So this we should understand, that all the different planets have their respective native persons. Yeah.
Residents.
Yes, it's like, I'm native to this country. Yeah, it's like in India, for example, practically every province, people have a different language, have a different culture, have a different, so many varieties and differences are there. Different countries also. Chinese people look different from Canadians, generally. Right. Of course, nowadays it's difficult to say. Yeah, because so many, there's probably more people from outside. I think that's coming to becoming a problem. More people from outside of Canada live in Canada than people born in Canada, kind of. That's why they call America the melting pot. Melting pot, right? All people from different nationalities, which is creating all kinds of some good situation, but also some unfavorable. Okay, to continue in the purport. Such native living beings, they can happily live and execute their prescribed occupations to attain salvation at the end, following the rules and regulations mentioned in the revealed scriptures. The material world is created to satisfy the whims of the Nityabadha, or everlasting conditioned souls. just as naughty boys are provided with playing cradles. Hmm. Otherwise, there was no need of the material world. But when they become intoxicated with the power of material science to exploit the resources unlawfully without the sanction of the Lord, and that also only for sense gratification, there is necessity of the Lord's incarnation to chastise the rebellious and to protect the faithful. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya sadhuskritam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. We cannot but think of these verses when we read this one. Okay, last paragraph. When he descends, he means Krishna, he exhibits superhuman acts just to prove his supreme right. And materialists like Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, and Kamsa are sufficiently punished. He acts in a manner which no one can imitate. For example, the Lord, when he appeared as Rama, bridged the Indian Ocean. When he appeared as Krishna from his very childhood, he showed superhuman activities by killing Putana, Agasura, Shakatasura, Kaliya, etc. And then his maternal uncle, Kamsa, when he was at Dwarka, he married 16,108 queens, and all of them were blessed with a sufficient number of children. The sum total of his personal family members amounted to about 100,000, 1 lakh. Popularly known as the Yadu Bamsha. And again, during his lifetime, he managed to vanquish them all. He is famous as the Govardhan Hari. Govardhan Hari, because he lifted at the age of only 7 the hill known as Govardhan. The Lord killed many undesirable kings in his time, and as a Kshatriya, he fought chivalrously, yes. He is famous as Asamordva, unparalleled. No one is equal to or greater than him. Translation again. Whenever there are kings and administrators living like animals in the lowest modes of existence, the Lord in his transcendental form manifests his supreme power, the truth positive. And shows special mercy to the faithful and performs wonderful activities and manifests various transcendental forms as is necessary in different periods and ages. Yes. So, very interesting expression, truth positive. We don't hear that so often. Truth positive. What is truth positive? I guess it's opposed to truth negative.
Well, I was thinking that truth is positive.
Truth is positive.
You're telling what the reality is. Truth positive is emphasizing the nature,
the positive,
the transcendental nature of the
transcendental nature. Yes.
That is the Krishna manifest.
Yes. manifesting the transcendental nature. Yes. So it means that actually anyone who is trying to profess or present or teach anything in the name of truth, which is not connected with the transcendental realm, or which is not connected with the transcendental plan of the Lord. Here it's nicely explaining that the Lord, for all his living entities, not only on our planet, but in all the planets of the universe, if one follows the prescribed, what does he do? He uses here the prescribed, he doesn't use normally prescribed duties, prescribed something here. In other words, all human beings, especially those who are in leadership position like kings. Kings are one of the three natural leaders in society, and they are meant to follow. Because they are leaders, they're meant to show example. They're meant to live by proper example. So in other words, there is a whole plan, there's a whole system, which is given actually in Shastra. That's why the Vedas are, as we were discussing the other day, they are very unique and very different from other literatures in that they give us eternal knowledge for all times and circumstances. For example, other shastras will give us knowledge according to time and circumstance, according to audience. The teachings of Lord Jesus, we should understand. The teachings of Lord Buddha, we should also understand. The teachings of various prophets or personalities, empowered personalities, have been according to that time, according to that audience. Just like Prabhupada explains, in the Bible it mentions the first of the 10 commandments, thou shalt not kill. It doesn't say thou shalt not murder, as some people are trying to interpret. Thou shalt not kill. So Prabhupada, he when speaking on this particular instruction of Lord Jesus, he mentions it means that people were killing. If you tell, don't do this, that means that somebody's doing that, right? So thou shalt not kill means that in the during the time that Lord Jesus was living, people were killing. Were killing, especially different animals. That's why there's a whole lila in the synagogue, I think it was, or whatever. In the synagogue.
In the synagogue, yes. When Jesus.
Yeah, he got very upset because they were, in the name of God, they were killing animals, etc., like that. So, yeah, it mentions both in the text and also in the purport that when there is a lot of irregularities in society, as we find today, that's an indication that the Lord is meant to appear. So And actually sometimes people will ask, or even devotees will ask, where's the Lord? Where is he? There's really a lot going on now. It's really time. It's really time. So how to understand this? Because in Kali Yuga, especially at this particular time, there are a lot of things that are not right. Right? Correct. Yes. I mean, the whole world is in chaos, in extreme chaos, not just ordinary chaos, but in extreme chaos, because we have persons in leadership position who don't know about what are the actual laws and duties and responsibilities. Don't know about dharma. Actually, the sign, one day that will come. The sign of a true king. So, anyone can be, not anyone, but the sign of a true king that has yet to be seen, but soon to come. The sign of a true king, of an actual king, will be that he will establish his kingdom officially, as every citizen must abide by the rules of dharma. He will not establish a particular religion, as some countries, it's like, the different countries have like the national religion of this country is such and such. Or in a place like Indonesia, for example, they recognize like 5, I think, maybe 6 religions now. In other countries, it's, I think like in Pakistan, officially it's Islam. In other countries, it's something else. Anyways, without going. So we should understand that a true leader or true king, which is part of the, we could say, prediction that is there, means in terms of the sign for re-establishing Satya Yuga. Because the Lord actually has already appeared in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and to bring about a major change in the whole world takes a little time, right? 500 years ago, there was less facility to travel, less communication. Nowadays, it's the facilities are there, and Srila Prabhupada actually made proper use of modern technology by printing books, by traveling himself personally, very, very extensively, 14 times around the world, within 12 years, basically. So we should understand that actually the what is being referred to here, we should try to understand how to apply that in this 21st century. What is meant to be established for for the whole of society to actually be in line or to follow what is given, especially in the Vedic literatures. What is necessary for this to happen? What is necessary for the common people in the world to follow their dharma? Well, first of all, most people in the world don't even know the word dharma, isn't it? They know the word religion, and even some people don't know very much about religion. So that was one of the foremost and beginning, I would say, instructions that Srila Prabhupada gave when he went to New York. he taught us. What did he teach us? Of course, many things, but in the context of what we are trying to explain. If everyone follows, you'll be able to catch it. If we don't follow, forget about it. What did Srila Prabhupada especially very nicely, very clearly explain, which was not explained by any other sannyasi? No sannyasi, no spiritual leader from India ever explained this point. Otherwise, they would have made devotees. They didn't explain the point about what is the difference between religion and dharma. So what is the difference between religion and dharma? Sir? In one relatively short sentence.
It's not possible in one sentence.
Okay, fail. That's an easy way to avoid answering the question. Yes?
Dharma means what to do or what to not.
Religion is a group of
Hey,
people.
you had your chance. Yes?
Religious you can change, right? But dharma is eternal, like you cannot change for dharma.
Good point. Religion we can change. This is what Prabhupada explained. Why is it that we can change? Because,
Because it's a personal faith.
yeah, faith. Prabhupada explains it is because to believe in one religion means you have faith in that religion. Of course, we also use the word faith, shraddha, ado shraddha. But we also understand that faith must be accompanied with grounded philosophy. Like the saying that Prabhupada, he makes reference to his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, about religion and philosophy. That religion without philosophy, or faith, we could say, without philosophy, is but sentiment that very often leads to fanaticism, isn't it? Faith without philosophy tends to be sentimental. And this is actually exactly what happened shortly after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ended his pastimes, and shortly after his three foremost followers, Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamananda Pandit, and Srinivas. Yeah. Soon after that, what happened? Sahajanism, Sahaja movement firmly became grounded and was present for about 300 years. Was present until the time of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because there was a deviation, simply means improper or incomplete understanding of dharma. And when we do bhakti, that tendency is there, that danger is there, you see. So therefore, religion without philosophy tends to develop into fanaticism or Sahajianism, whatever
Which
the
is
term.
another kind of fanaticism.
Yes, yes. Whereas philosophy without religion is but mental speculation. So here's the point, actually. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, from his, this very historical, important period, because he reintroduced the teachings. As a matter of fact, he sent that small book, The Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, his life and precept, to McGill University.
Yes.
And other universities, actually. It's not only McGill University that he sent it to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, we think like that, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, we're from Canada. He sent it to our university. I'm from Montreal. Yeah, right. Well, I'm not actually from Montreal, but he Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was visionary. He is the pioneer for introducing he could see. It's just a matter of time, you know. So he actually corresponded with different intellectuals in different countries, and he sent his small booklet, Life and Precepts of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to such intellectuals to kind of get things going. So he laid the foundation, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, for us to actually find this balance between religion and philosophy. To actually, he laid the foundation to establish, to introduce actual dharma, Sanatana dharma, and and therefore that's one of the reasons we introduce this particular seminar that we entitle Dharma Shastri. Within our society, we're focused on Bhakti Shastri. And Bhakti Shastri is wonderful, but only wonderful when we have proper and full of understanding of Dharma. Sometimes devotees will say, even sometimes in the Bhagavatam, it will say Dharma is less important. Krishna says, Sarva Dharmam Pachaka. But that needs to be understood in the proper way. So, Dharma, the goal is, of course, the goal is to attain love of Krishna, to awaken our original, natural Krishna Bhakti. The goal is Krishna, love of Krishna. Krishna Bhakti Nitya Siddha. Krishna Bhakti is the eternal perfection, the eternal quality, the eternal nature. And how does that become awakened? Especially Krishna Bhakti, Janma Mul Hoy, Hare Krishna. Sadhu Sangha. Yeah, that's in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna Bhakti, Janma Mul Hoy, Sadhu Sangha, and Krishna Prema. How does Krishna Prema become awakened? By the continued process of association. So the point here is that the question actually we should be asking ourselves, the Prabhupada is telling here in the purport, whenever there are symptoms of chaos in society, as we are seeing, that's when the Lord comes. So how to understand this? Again, the same question, where's the Lord?
He's
on the altar. He's on the altar. Huh?
Well, my understanding has always been that this is Kali Yuga. Krishna is incarnated in His holy name.
The holy name.
And it's us who have to
And us.
bring that holy name.
We have to bring that holy name. Yes, the foundation, of course, of the Hare Krishna Sankirtan movement is Sankirtan. Yes. But we also need to understand fully what is the meaning of Sankirtan. Does it mean that we all just stop doing everything we're doing, sit down with a bead bag and just chant 22 hours a day?
It wouldn't happen anyway.
It would not happen anyway.
Right.
Correct. Why?
Because we're not, especially in the beginning, we're not advanced enough.
Yes, we cannot imitate Haridas Thakur. So therefore, actually the point I want to come to with all of this is that, in a similar way that when as I mentioned, when Lord Chaitanya left and when his foremost associates who were, although they never had darshan, right? Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivasacharya, Shamananda Pandit, they never actually had physical darshan of Lord Chaitanya, but they fully imbibed his mission. But somehow, shortly after, I don't know exactly when or how many years, the whole mission of Lord Chaitanya sidetracked, went off the tracks. It became a Sahaja movement. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur redirected, re-established, isn't it, that movement. And one of the important components in the context of dharma, because we're talking about dharma here, we are remembering also the basic instructions that Krishna gives in the Bhagavad Gita regarding dharma, that he comes to dharma samstapanarthaya, to reestablish the principles of dharma. So the point I'm trying to make, what's the point I was trying to make? He's telling and telling, but not making the point. One of the important instructions that has been brought out, beginning with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because it was before him, it's like the movement was lost practically. Where is that? I'll read it to you. Oh, I wish I should have had it prepared. But there's a very important letter written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur to his son. It is entitled, O Saraswati. Anyone remember that? Hare Krishna.
Did not heard that.
You did not hear about that. My God. It's really Kali Yuga, huh? Yeah. Well, we spoke about it. Well, maybe not enough, I guess. Actually,
he wrote this letter before he left, right?
Generally that happens.
Yeah, I've heard part of it.
Yeah. So it is actually a very important letter, which speaks about Mayapur as well. And O Saraswati, yeah. It is, if I can find it, because it's a very, it's actually, yes. Directly touching the point that we're trying to make here. Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
It's not printed.
Just when you, if I had my computer, probably could find it right away. But
I remember that letter.
Okay, I'm happy somebody remembers it. And so, what? Just do you remember something about that letter?
Yes, Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote to Bhakti Saraswati Thakur that Brahmanas, they are offending the devotees because they are not understanding what is bhakti, and that's why Brahmanas are degrading. Like they are making offense to devotees because it's like smarta Brahmanas.
Smarta Brahmanas.
Smarta Brahmanas.
Yes, actually it begins like that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling that people do not understand Vaishnavas and they make offenses against them. Because those who are smarta Brahmanas, they believe that unless you're born in a Brahmana family, you cannot become a Brahmana. unless you're born in India, Hare Krishna, we're unqualified to be here. Whoops, yeah.
You know the story about Prabhupada saying to one devotee after a Pandal, I forget which devotee it was. It was either Brahmananda or Chutananda. He was approached, it was a big Pandal, and he was approached by an Indian gentleman,
Yes.
Indian Brahmin gentleman. He said, very good, and congratulations, everything was so wonderful. He said, if you are fortunate, in your next birth, you will be born as a Brahmana. And this devotee recounted this to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, if he is fortunate, in his next birth, he will be born in ISKCON.
Yes.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Not that we should become puffed up about that.
Yes. So, God. Anyways, I'll just make the point, anyways, without the direct.
Is this printed somewhere or just online?
It's printed somewhere, but not in our ISKCON books, because there are many things like in the Gaudiya Mat and different writings of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So yes, to continue, what Jaidev is telling is correct. He begins by explaining that many people are actually blaspheming the Vaishnavas. And you should know that the best remedy, and he was making reference, to Sahajas or Smarta Brahmanas, people who are in the name of the teachings of Lord Chaitanya were engaged in all kinds of adharmic activities. So after making that statement that these people are blaspheming and offending Vaishnavas, you should know that the best remedy to counter this mentality is to establish Varnashrama Dharma. In other words, it's one of the prominent, and we mention this point again and again. I mean, we emphasize. Some devotees may think we overemphasize, but it is so essential and so vital in our ability to properly understand Dharma, that if we simply are on the bhakti side and we fail to understand, but because bhakti side is dealing especially with the soul, and to summarize what is the teachings in terms of bhakti, Lord Chaitanya has given that very well known instruction, Jiver Swarup Hoy Krishna Nityadas. That is actually the definition of the what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes as Jaiva Dharma, the Dharma of the soul. What is Jaiva Dharma?
Eternal servant.
Yes, Das Anudas Anudas. Now, we need to also, in the equation, know that what is the dharma of the Baddha Jeev. What is the dharma of those, Baddha Jeevs are in the material world. In the spiritual world, there's no Baddha Jeev, right? There's no conditioned soul in the spiritual world. So it is clear, for those who are Nitya Siddha, Sadhana Siddha, or Kripa Siddha, we were discussing yesterday. These three types of Siddha, who eventually find themselves in the spiritual world, there's no need of, there's no connection with the modes of material nature. So for those who are Baddha Jeev, still conditioned, whether by the mode of ignorance, passion, or even goodness, for those conditioned souls, there's another dimension of dharma which is essential, which is meant to be the standard, and that is actually varnashrama dharma. So in other words, we need to see the connection and establish the balance between the two. If we prematurely simply become absorbed in the bhakti aspect, then we end up, there's good chances we end up as Mahaprabhu's movement ended up for 300 years.
Saji.
Sahajism, yes. and that is why personalities like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the same also for Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We have very important quotes actually on our website. By the way, we just released our website yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. And we have important quotes that are making this point, from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. As a matter of fact, here, I'll read a quote which you will love. Should I read it?
Yes.
I mean, you won't. It's not just you'll like it. You will love it.
Really?
Yeah, and it's being. Some of our devotees have been sending it to a few social media. I was happy to notice. I think. Let's see. That should. I got it. I see this one I got. Now this is a quote I'd never seen before. That our Prahlad shared actually a few days back. And this is actually from a very important personality, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, who is like, the instructing guru to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So what does he say? Listen carefully. Everyone is listening?
Yes.
Is everyone listening?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. It is more beneficial. This is Babaji Maharaj speaking, right? It is more beneficial to cultivate fields and water plants for the service of the Vaishnavas than to inattentively pull beads hundreds of thousands of times. The result of serving the Vaishnavas is genuine taste for the holy name. Touche,
Yes.
as they say. Here is a Babaji Maharaj, and not just any Babaji Maharaj. He's in our line of, Guru Parampara. And he's giving this instruction, which is connected with the point we're trying to make, isn't it? We're not telling to put the beads aside.
Actually,
I never wanted to chant anyways.
Srila Prabhupada talks about Daivi Varnashram, Dharma
A lot.
over and over
A lot.
and over and
Yes.
over again.
Practically every other page. It's like,
Yes, he's always talking.
I mean, if somebody wants to avoid Daiva Varnashrama, he should not read Prabhupada's books.
Very dangerous.
Yeah. Because it's all over the place, yeah. And it needs to be understood properly. We're not pushing what is called karma kanda here. Some people think that, hey, Varnashrama, that is karma kanda. Hey, we're Vaishnavas. We're above karma kanda, no? Karma kanda, jnana kanda. Shakale, what is it? It is all poison. So that is why, I'll just end on this point here. Yeah, it's Kartik time. It's getting cold. Everyone's getting a cold. Sneezing. So that is why the last point here is that in the same way, I would say in the same way, not similar way, in the same way that the subject matter of bhakti, the subject matter of bhakti is very confidential, is very hidden, is very esoteric. In the same way, the subject matter of Varnashrama Dharma is very confidential, very hidden, and very esoteric. I won't give any purport on that, but we need to think about what that means. And that is one of the reasons, I would say the main reason why majority of our devotees, regardless of where they may be situated in the ladder, are missing the point, not understanding. We should not think that Daiva Varnashrama is something material that is going to lead us away from bhakti. Rather, the opposite is true. The opposite is true. And this we need to think about and meditate upon much more than we have so far. And I think our class needs to end at this point. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki
Jai.
Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki
Jai.
Gauda Pinam
Hari Hari Bol. His Holiness Bhakti Raghava Swami Maharaj.